So we are learning some stunning new details about the latest would-be Trump assassin that the mainstream media has totally ignored. First, let's set the stage here. A 17-year-old kid murders his parents, lives with their bodies for 2 weeks, records a video of his stepdad's corpse surrounded by candles. And that's not even the most disturbing part of the story. If you can believe that part of it, which is actually creepy enough as it is. No, this young assassin in training had foreign contacts, one of them based in Ukraine, at least one. There could be more, and there likely is more in Ukraine. The same place, of course, that the United States has been sending endless billions without a single receipt. The Democrats, of course, their favorite money laundering machine is the war in Ukraine. And Ukraine was his exit plan, using Ukraine to carry out the assassination and then exit afterwards and get back safely to Ukraine, where he would then be, I guess, taken care of. This teenager, Nikita Kassup, wasn't just fantasizing about violence. He was actively carrying this out. And he allegedly killed his own mother and stepfather to free himself financially and logistically to carry out an assassination plot on President Trump. In other words, his parents were holding him back from carrying out his plan. They were just getting in the way of all of this, and he was being held back by this. Well, now we have the new FBI affidavit today from the FBI agent working this case. I want to kind of go through this here because the DOJ and the FBI say his motive was crystal clear. Quote, to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out the murder of Donald Trump. And you can read the affidavit for yourself. It's long. It's a stunning read. But it gets worse. Kassup wasn't just working alone. So you can throw out the lone gunman story if you want. And we now know that Thomas Crooks also wasn't working alone in Butler, Pennsylvania. None of these guys were working alone. Why isn't this the biggest story in mainstream media? Just take a pause here. If this was Barack Obama or Joe Biden for that matter, and you found out that there was a criminal conspiracy that involved a foreign government and the intelligence community to kill a sitting president, it would be wall-to-wall coverage on CNN, on MSNBC. Turning on MSNBC today, no mention of it. Zero. CNN, the same thing. Zero. It's unbelievable. So according to the federal agents, Kassup was texting someone with a Ukrainian phone number and another person inside of Russia, Ukrainian sympathizer, both of whom were allegedly helping him figure out how to build a bomb-dropping drone, because they've been really good at this, dropping bombs with drones on them, right? Hitting apartment complexes in the Belgorod region of Russia, flying them right into windows and killing civilians. So he literally asked them how to weaponize a drone, and his Ukrainian connections were helping him to commit presidential assassination on U.S. soil. And maybe there's nothing here, I'm sure. Maybe there's just nothing to look at all. I don't believe that for a second, of course. So were these people on the other end of that encrypted chat? Who were they? And why was one of them in Ukraine? I hope we learn who these people are from the DOJ. According to the affidavit, Kassup had fully immersed himself in the darkest corners of the internet. He was hanging out in a satanic cult forum. He loved neo-Nazis and was a big fan of Ukraine's Azov battalion, the Nazis that the Biden administration aligned themselves with. And he was a big fan of the group called NSWP, National Socialism / White Power. So think of this guy kind of like as a mix. I was thinking of this guy kind of like as a mix between like Charles Manson, the Azov battalion, and a Discord server from hell. And that's literally your guy trying to kill President Trump. Also, it's kind of interesting that Democrats love to call Trump a Nazi, and a literal Nazi was trying to kill him for not being Nazi enough. People conflate the two all the time, right? Nazis were socialists. Trump is the opposite of a socialist, so they hate him for that. They hate that he won't, marginalize black people. They hate that he got a huge amount of vote in the Hispanic community during this last election.
They hate that he loves capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. They hate that he loves business. This is really, really, detrimental to socialists and Nazis who really don't want that at all. So this assassin, this would-be assassin, Kassup, even wrote a manifesto calling for Trump's death, then talked about fleeing to Ukraine after the job was done. So let me ask this question. What kind of a teenager kills his parents, builds a bomb plot, and thinks that Ukraine is a safe zone for him after he carries out an assassination, unless, of course, someone told him it would be a safe zone? So someone tells him Ukraine will take care of him, so then he allegedly kills his parents, then stays in the house with the parents' corpses for 2 full weeks. And he didn't just ignore the corpses, he actually filmed them with candles and made a video of his stepfather's body with candles surrounding it like some sort of satanic cult ritual. And again, according to the FBI, this guy was in no rush at all. He had a plan. He was being methodical about it. He was calculating, according to the affidavit. And after the murders, the next move in his mind was, I'm going to Ukraine where I'll have a safe house. He even messaged one of his contacts, quote, I'm quoting him now, "So while in Ukraine, I'll be able to live a normal life, even when it's found out what I did?" Like he's asking, like, yeah, you've already assured me like this would be the case. So like, I'll be able to live a normal life there. Like I'll be sort of like praised over there. I mean, you don't ask a question like that unless you've been sort of led to believe the answer is yes. Am I wrong? I mean, that's the way that I read it. This isn't speculation. This is straight from the DOJ's affidavit. And why does the U.S. media cover it from one day and then they just suddenly memory hold the damn thing? Ukraine's numbers keep showing up on caller ID for these would-be assassins, like it did with Ryan Routh, the guy who tried to kill Trump at Mar-a-Lago on the golf course. The CIA knew exactly who Routh was. Of course they did. And that he was in Ukraine, of course, playing mercenary with his mercenary friends. So today, I mean, we can switch gears a little bit today because now we've got this hearing today. So
let me just play devil's advocate a little bit.
He would be a devil and you would be advocate. Yeah.
Well, okay.
It's appropriate.
Is it possible? I mean, you can get a Google Voice Ukrainian number, right? And so is it possible then that there's another group trying to make it look like this is Ukrainian? That clearly is possible. But why? Right. And so why is no one asking these questions?
So sort of like
why
a trap?
Would somebody? Yes, right.
Maybe.
Well, yeah,
we don't know.
Because like I would question that like a government getting involved in this simply for the fact that let's say they were successful. What has changed? Like if Ukraine is trying to change their own like political landscape, what then now JD Vance is there, and has he given any indication that he's going to be pro-Ukraine and turn the money back on for the war effort? I mean, how far down the chain would they have to go before they'd find a sympathetic person? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, these assassination attempts were while Trump was a candidate, though, and so for Ryan,
no, he was president-elect at this point.
Okay,
right. So
yes,
Ryan Routh was president-elect.
Yes, you get JD Vance, and JD Vance has the same platform about ending the war in Ukraine. But for Ryan Routh, at least, they wanted to prevent a Trump presidency, and they probably were banking on the fact that JD Vance couldn't get elected on his own, or the Republicans could not replace him with another person of this ideology.
Yeah. I mean, and now this one, of course, just happened. So now, but here's my question is like, how many more have we not even learned about, right? How many more of these have been kept quiet from us right now? And how many more of this or do we have like Ukrainian connections with? So let's just talk about Ryan Routh, because today, big news in the Ryan Routh story, the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump was back in court today. And we're getting more confirmation of everything we already warned you about here on this show. And, people, oh, you guys are conspiracy theorists. And then you go in court and they actually talk about it in front of a judge. So glad to be called a conspiracy theorist. So let's be clear. This is the same guy we told you about weeks ago who allegedly tried to buy a rocket launcher from someone in Ukraine using encrypted Telegram messages. That's not new. Of course, you heard it here when we first reported that a few weeks ago here on the show. We reported on the encrypted messages. We reported the RPG request. We reported the quote about Trump being, quote, bad for Ukraine that they got from his Telegram messages with Ukrainian weapons dealers. All of it. But today's hearing in Florida federal court just cemented what prosecutors are building here, that this, in fact, was a conspiracy. So prosecutors laying out before the judge that this is a conspiracy. This guy wasn't a lone wolf. He was not a lone gunman. He had help. Prosecutors say this wasn't some unstable guy with a grudge. This was a politically motivated assassination plot with Ukrainian entanglements. So once again, the word Ukraine is sitting front and center today in court in Florida. Prosecutors are going all in on the Ukrainian connection. They reiterated that Routh went to encrypted apps, tried to procure military-grade weapons, not from Craigslist, not from some gun show, but from Ukraine. And as we played you a soundbite from Tucker a few weeks ago here on the show, over 50% of all of these weapons have been sold on the black market. They're getting them, receiving them, and selling them off to terrorists, known terrorists, and drug cartels. So that's two attempted assassins, two Ukrainian connections, and we don't know to what lengths, Thomas Crooks may have been connected using encrypted applications on forums and so forth with Ukraine. We don't know that. Of course, his body was burned almost immediately and cremated so that no one could analyze that. Like I really hope that we get some answers from Pam Bondi now and Kash Patel, because that was the FBI under Biden that just took his body and just cremated it like right away. His apartment was like totally wiped clean, no silverware, no nothing. Like, who was this ghost in Butler, Pennsylvania? So what the hell is going on here? Of course, the corporate media won't touch that question, ignoring their money laundering operation in Ukraine. Routh's trial, by the way, is set to begin on September 8th. So let's see if he actually survives to see that trial and we hear public evidence in trial, because this guy, he's on a path to like Epstein Island, Epsteining himself, because maybe a lot of information might actually come out during this trial that the deep state doesn't absolutely want in front of the American people. So let us know your thoughts on that. Bunker has been a great sponsor for Redacted. They are having tremendous growth, and they're doing it slowly and intentionally and methodically instead of these other apps that are exploding like Telegram and Signal. So let me tell you about Bunker, okay? It's a way for you to protect your lives from surveillance, cyber criminals, and other threats. And what you do is Bunker is an uncompromised private messenger together with a password manager, a secure vault, and notes that work seamlessly together. Private messaging and sharing. Send messages and leverage Bunker sharing capabilities for passwords, documents, notes, photos, and videos. You can create to-do lists, travel, business, private reflections, recipes, workouts, all of that taken care of inside of Bunker. Over 130 countries, Bunker customers enjoy peace of mind. You can travel with greater ease, have more energy to focus on what matters. So right now, you can get 25% off. Download Bunker today from the App Store. That's BUNKR.life and use the code REDACTED to get 25% off. Live life to the fullest. Protect what matters most. Download Bunker today.
I want to let you know that I am feeling super inspired by these all-female Blue Origin space crew to do more math and science. I really am excited about that. I'm just so happy that women are now better represented by these ladies who were passengers on a 3-minute space tour. But wait a minute, was it real? Now that's what's trending around the internet today.
Wait a minute, it's all fake?
Well, there's a lot of fake stuff you see on your screen when I put that picture up. Absolutely. Can we just put it back up again?
There's a lot of plastic surgery.
Probably none of them have that real hair color. There's a lot of Botox fillers. Yes, absolutely. There's a lot that's fake that I can confirm is fake, but let's look at what the evidence is that maybe the entire mission was fake. Now, we could see the whole stream from soup to nuts, but once it passed the atmosphere, we couldn't see the outside of the capsule. So, okay. Some people are saying, though, that the fact that the ladies opened the door to the pod themselves only to be told to close it so that Jeff Bezos could come over with his muscle shirt and use a wrench to get it open and rescue them, yeehaw cowboy style, proves that it's fake. Now, the New Shepard is the vessel that they traveled in. It does have a release mechanism. We're going to watch it here. See, they open it, and then this lady says, no, not yet. Don't open it. Can we rewind that, restack it a second so you can see that it does open for a second, and then they're like, no, girls, no, stay put. And so this is the part that people are saying was totally faked. So see here, they go up, the girls open it, and then they have to wait. And Jeff Bezos is holding this wrench that apparently opens.
Doesn't really need it because the girls on the inside already opened this thing.
Right. And so was that a camera op? Or is it supposed to open? Now, again, the New Shepard does have a release mechanism from the inside in case, for whatever reason, the wind blew them way off course and they were put somewhere that the rescue vehicles couldn't open and they were stuck in there starving, no water, no bathroom, right? Then they could open it from the inside. So they had already opened it, but then why is he standing there with that wrench? Is that just a photo opportunity? Oddly enough, I did ask ChatGPT about there because I love to see what the mainstream narrative is, and usually AI gives it to me. And so AI said, yes, this is suspicious, but Blue Origin is basically a fancy roller coaster to space and back. Take a look. It says, well, other missions had more complicated doors and release mechanisms, so they couldn't open it up and blow themselves to smithereens in space. But New Shepard, no big deal, because it's basically a fancy roller coaster to space and back. Now, another major issue I have is this heavily edited footage of them fooling around with toys and flowers. Now think about this as I show you this 1 minute and 3 second video. They had 4 minutes total in space. That's 240 seconds, but they used at least a quarter to a third of it taking selfies and playing with toys. So you have to think to yourself, if I have 4 minutes total in space, am I gonna F around with a camera and these toys and this like girl shot? Watch.
Got it? 1, 2, 3, taking up space!
Oh.
Tamira's in space. It's okay. Leave Lynn up there.
I would just be staring out the window the whole time. Here's Katie.
No, she's staring at herself with her
They're looking at each other like, what the hell?
Yes, at each other, which they've been doing for months in preparation for this.
Look at me.
Oh,
Look
the
at me.
moon.
I'm so
You
important.
guys, I will have to tell you, look at the moon. That's amazing. Wow, look at the blue line.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goddess. Oh my That's our pink moon.
Okay.
So they're not even looking out the window. 240 seconds is all you have in space.
And then you're coming back.
Yeah, and you're playing with your shit.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Like, let's play a whole game of checkers. Let's bring up a whole bunch of pieces and
Oh, it's time to go down now? Oh, shoot, I'm so sorry that I messed around with these ladies that I'm not even close personal friends with, but are other influencers. It's outrageous.
yeah, the listener in our chat says, wow, what the hell? This is cringe. Oh.
Beyond. And I am so shocked that they've left all their social media comments open because it is a PR disaster. Most people are just thinking that this is such a sham. It's such an influencer campaign. It's inspiring nobody. Here's another problem I have with this because I was listening to the live stream while I drove my daughter to school. And one of the hosts of the live stream on Blue Origin was a woman named Kristen Ann Fisher. She is the daughter of NASA astronaut Dr. Anna Lee Fisher. So in the prep for the launch on Monday, Fisher talked about being a woman and an astronaut, and she said that her mother went to space when she was only 15 months old and was chosen for that mission while she was still 8 months pregnant. And she explained it saying her mom really felt that she had something to prove as a woman, which I found incredibly offensive because no woman has anything to prove while they're pregnant. You're literally doing magic while you're pregnant. This is not feminism saying that being pregnant is not enough.
Yeah, you also need to go to space.
So I need to prove myself. Like while you're pregnant, you have shit all to prove while you're pregnant to anyone. So to frame this as I have to show something to the world is crap. And I made sure to tell my daughter, do you hear how offensive that is? That you have to be an astronaut to prove something, and being a mom is not enough. That is not feminism. I reject it wholeheartedly. Even the New York Times, which I always disagree with, does not like this. They say that this only proves that several women have amassed the social capital to be friends with Lauren Sanchez, who had the social capital to land Jeff Bezos as a fiance. They also say that this is a great point, hadn't thought of. This is done for male fantasy, not for female empowerment. Buff, bald, rich, midlife crisis boyfriend uses his expensive toys to send Barbie fiance with her friends to space. So I don't like anything about it. I'm not feeling inspired. I don't think this is a good lesson for my daughters of what feminism should look like, but I'm loving the memes about it because there is almost nobody to say anything positive about it. Here's a fun meme and there's so many of these. And if you see more, please tag me in them because I've had a rough week and I need to see more like this.
Go through your whole life not knowing how much love you have inside of you until the day you launch.
Baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what.
I didn't realize it was music. I'm sorry about that. We're not supposed to play music on YouTube. But anyway, when Katy Perry came back, she said she was feeling so much love, so connected to love. Lauren Sanchez said we're all in it together. By looking at the earth from a different vantage point, she really felt like we're all in it together. Katy Perry said she really wanted to learn more about STEM and science. They had a 2-day training. So I don't know if maybe she learned a lot. And if you want to get on a rocket she builds next, be my guest. So let me know your thoughts on this.
What happens when she goes on a roller coaster? She's like, I really want to become an engineer and a physicist. Like,
Yeah. And more women need to be represented in transportation. So I'm going to go ride the bus after this for a while.
Okay.
And there you go.
One person says, oh man, you are really jealous of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Definitely.
Clearly. You really want to go to space.
Well, here's another thing. This woman who left her 15-month-old to go to space, like that's also a choice that I can't abide as a mother. That's very dangerous. What if your daughter becomes motherless because you had something to prove, because having her was not enough in your life? I don't connect with this as a woman at all. But if you want to see it as jealousy, that's cool.